January 7th, I get a phone call. She goes, Pastor, everything burned to the ground.
Catastrophe in California. Some of the most iconic neighborhoods in the world burned to the ground. From the first sparks to the mammoth blazes, one devastated area is the close-knit Altadena community.
For Pastor Jonathan DeCuir, the Los Angeles wildfires and the devastation they brought his community in Altadena were like no challenge his church had ever experienced.
43 of our family members lost the actual structure of their house and lost everything that was in it.
But look, this isn't a story about the fires. This is a story about a community that is still fighting months and even years to recover from this catastrophic disaster. I'm here because people on the outside of this community want to help. But first, we need to learn what it'll take to meet the needs of thousands of people when healing takes years. The question we want to answer is, how do you effectively help a community after a crisis? Was the news coverage every single day when this first happened?
Every day. They're not here now, though. They're not here now when we need them the most.
Jonathan is at the center of an incredible story. And no matter when you watch this video, the people of Altadena will still be fighting to save their city. But as you'll see, Jonathan and his church are test driving a solution through the platform CarePortal that might be the future of how communities rebuild after a disaster. This is an approach that can work anywhere. And stick around because, as you'll learn, there's a way that we can all lend a hand. I mean, is it possible to rebuild Altadena the way that it was before?
I have to believe that it's possible to rebuild in Altadena. I have to believe it.
Where was the chimney?
Oh, wow. Don't think I'm crazy, but the chimney was here. So this was the only thing that was from the original build. When the fires first happened, you just had a slew of chimneys because that's the only thing that withstood the flames. And they were able to save 4 bricks because I want to somehow bring it to my new home, put it somewhere, historically.
Yeah. This is Dawn, a member of Jonathan's church, and her home was passed down to her from her grandmother.
The morning after was when the gravity hit and what actually happened to me. 5 generations that have been in this house. My mother, my grandmother, but one of their wishes were never to sell the house. And there's no amount of money that would even be suffice to build a legacy.
Today, Jonathan is taking me around Altadena to see how much recovery is still needed in the city. When a large nonprofit from outside the area tries to come in and help, but don't have the relationships, what does that look like?
I think it'll be better. I can show you better than I can tell you. In a parking lot very similar to this one, a large organization trying to do a good thing, distribute, but the lines were just like long. The issue is that when you're giving away money, you don't know who's who if you're dealing with fake IDs. Of the people standing in line, more than half was fraud.
Wow.
Most people who actually needed the help that lived in Altadena, when they drove by and saw the lines, they just kept driving. This is the confusion now starts fights and all kinds of things. This is the reason why it's so important to partner with people that live here.
What happened in Jonathan's community is heartbreaking, but also sadly familiar. This is a story that we see over and over again in the US and across the world. 2023 had historic fires that broke out in Hawaii, and in 2024, Hurricane Helene brought devastating flooding to North Carolina. Even a few months after the fires went out, 117 tornadoes broke out across the South in March, ending the lives of 43 people. And while we were editing this piece, the horrific flooding in Texas happened. The first point to make is that people outside these areas want to help. In fact, the Los Angeles wildfires were a record-setting event for US donations. Individual donors and businesses contributed to over $650 million. And the US has several huge nonprofits and disaster relief organizations that can be on the ground in days to provide crucial relief. But talking with people inside this community has helped me learn this second point, and probably the most crucial one of all. These communities need a lot of support long after the disaster, and how that help is delivered and how targeted it is makes a huge difference. So churches and leaders like Jonathan serve in two crucial ways. First, they provide leadership by vetting outside services so local community can trust that they're in good hands. And secondly, they verify needs within the community to ensure that resources go to the people in need. It's a lot of responsibility, so I had a burning question.
All right, so how does somebody build trust in a community like Altadena?
What I have found in spaces and places where anybody is in need, organizations come in and they sometimes don't try to connect with the community that's actually here. Because of the fires, this church has become a refuge for the people who experienced the fire, our fire survivors. They have been blessed because of organizations like CarePortal who come alongside us and go, hey, we see what you're doing, and since you're on the ground, let me give you a little push. Let me give you some resource and continue to do what you're already doing.
Okay, so what Jonathan's talking about is a radical new idea, one that connects people in crisis with people who want to help. CarePortal works with agencies to upload children and families' needs to their platform. Anyone in the world can respond, and the resources are sent to thousands of partner churches like Jonathan's who can assist those families in real time. I'm familiar with how CarePortal has helped families experiencing the child welfare system, but I needed someone to break down for me how this works for major disasters. So Jonathan introduced me to a woman in his church named Sarah.
Yeah, so Pastor John is our leader, he's our pastor, but he's not able to do everything and be everywhere and do everything for everyone. So I'm able to be the point person for our church through CarePortal.
So what I learned was a point person is a volunteer within the church who forms relationships with families in crisis and provides targeted support.
CarePortal is saying like, hey, these are the needs in your area that you might not even know are needs. You know, we can drive around and see unhoused people. Some of those needs are so obvious, but in CarePortal, it's like pointing at people where you go, oh, there's a need. And that's 2 blocks away from us. CarePortal is saying, hey, go do the work. We're gonna help you, but go do the work. When you grew up here, because I've heard other people say this, the fires never came down like that, right?
Santa Ana winds is notorious for, causing allergies and burning out our power, right?
Right.
Never in a million years would we thought that this would have happened.
There's been so many people kind of in and out of Victory of getting help, but as a member, what has Victory been able to do to help you or support you besides just prayer?
We've never had an entire town burn down. I've never had to build a house from the ground up. The church was holding my hand through this. So to have an organization think for us on what we need and then providing it, that's been a safe haven for me personally.
Do you mind if I pray for you?
No, I'm honored.
Okay,
I'm honored.
good,
I'm
good,
honored.
good.
I'm
Okay.
honored. I'm honored.
Our community has gone through so much. And we're not just building a house, this is a whole community that burnt. And so the amount of things that have to adjust and change isn't gonna happen like it happened in 3 days. It's a long recovery.
Sarah is a great example of the help CarePortal provides at a human level. But I'm also wondering how this works on the technical side. So I spoke with Domingo Mota, the Westfield director for CarePortal.
Without trust, it's very hard to mobilize the community, especially in a time of crisis.
Why are churches central to what CarePortal is trying to do?
The churches are one of the most untapped resources to help those who are in need. And Victory Bible Church was a prime example of how the community who was stepping in to fill the gap and to help bring others to help those in need.
Earlier, Jonathan took me around town to meet the network of resources the church has brought together to help the community rebuild. And since there's not a one-size-fits-all for recovery, CarePortal creates a space to help fill in the gaps.
The top is disaster relief requests. That is a special function we have, the platform that allows for such requests to be entered. And it allows people, responders, to interact.
But this is part of the fire. It's been 6 months since this. Do people on the outside know that requests like this are still coming in, that there are needs like this that still need to be met?
This is something that we prepared for. And the way the requests like these help is by stabilizing the home.
So today I went with Jonathan and Sarah as they fulfill the community's CarePortal requests.
Unity is the secret weapon, and so Victory can't do this on our own. We are one church out of many in Pasadena. We don't have these endless amounts of resources to help people. CarePortal has been such a tool for us to connect to people who do have resources. I think the last 6 or 7 months have been I just like a rolling reel of miracles.
So I believe from when they sent them to me that these are images from that first Sunday, but was there a message that Sunday?
I believe the message was Nehemiah that Sunday. When the king asked him, why is your countenance so sad? And he says, because the walls in my city, basically, paraphrase, has been burned down. And then he goes, I want to go and rebuild. And I think that was the highlight of that Sunday is God would let us rebuild and he would give us the resources to do so.
To date, churches like Jonathan's have fulfilled over 680 requests through CarePortal, providing almost 1 million in immediate needs and necessities like food, clothing, and furniture. They've been able to provide transportation to 43 individuals who lost their cars. Families and individuals like Don are securing stable housing solutions, but most importantly, each individual is receiving the relationship support that they need to provide ongoing care. I mean, a brick can look like anything. Why is it important to you to have the original bricks?
Keeping the brick was taking the legacy back to the foundation of when they built the house. And now I'm going to rebuild the house, rebuild another house. So that's why it was important for me to have the brick.
CarePortal is still looking out for me and looking out for this church and looking out for this community. Hope is the thing that leaders lose because something in their mind says, I'm in it by myself. But CarePortal goes, nah, you're not here by yourself. We're here too.
We're gonna trade bricks, Don.
Oh.
Okay. For a little bit.
That's gonna make me cry. Better not make me cry. It's gonna make me cry.
I just wanted to add to your brick collection.
You got my grandma's name and my mom's right name and wow.
You're part of the legacy, Don.
I tell people we've been baptized by fire. The thing about baptism is you always come back up. And the Lord has been bringing us back up.
No matter when you watch this story, Jonathan's church is still actively working to rebuild Altadena. So if you were moved like I am, there are thousands of needs on careportal.org right now. Follow the link in the description below to meet a need and help vulnerable children and families today. Stand Together partners with changemakers tackling our biggest challenges. To see more stories, follow our channels. And to learn more about how you can partner with us, go to standtogether.org.